next instrument I'd like to tell you about is actually a lot of instruments, and it's percussion. Percussion is any instrument that you hit. So it could be drums, xylophones, triangles, tambourines, anything you would strike. Percussionists are very important to the band, and they can also be in marching bands and in symphony orchestras. All groups need percussionists. Percussionists are also in jazz band, but I do have to say we don't usually teach the drum set in school. Most of the people that play drum set in jazz bands are percussionists, but they also have learned to play drum set outside of school. When you first learn to play percussion in school, we learn two instruments from the beginning. We learn the snare drum and the bells. And from those two instruments, you can learn to play all the other instruments. So whenever you come into beginning band, you'll learn to play the drums, the snare drum, and the bells. I'm not going to take too much time to show the instruments because there's some really great videos that will demonstrate all sorts of different percussion instruments. But this is the snare drum. And it's obviously pretty loud. When you learn to play percussion, you get a practice pad. So the practice pad is much softer, and if you need to practice quietly, that's what you'll want to do. It's just like playing on a real drum, but softer. The other instrument you would learn to play is the bells, and this is like a piano keyboard. You can play different notes and melodies. And this top row would be like the black keys on the piano, and the bottom row would be like the white keys on a piano. So if you already play piano, this would make sense to you. This would be fairly simple, I think. We do teach from the very beginning, so you don't have to know the piano in order to play the bells. The drum pad and the bells come in a case that's kind of like this. Most of the time it has wheels, and you can easily pull it back and forth. If you played the snare drum, you would keep that at home. The nice thing is, once you get to middle school, we have all the different percussion instruments at middle school, and you wouldn't have to bring them back and forth. You would only have to bring your drumsticks. Some people think that percussion is easy to play because all you do is hit the drum, but it's actually just as difficult to play as any other instrument, and it takes just as much practice as any other instrument. There's a correct way to play the drums. There are many different techniques like rolls and flams that do take practice, and of course the percussionists are the only people learning two instruments at the same time, learning to play drums and bells. So learning to play percussion does take work and does take practice and would be just as challenging as any other instrument. So I've just told you a little bit about playing percussion in the band, but I hope you'll check out the links below because they will show you the many possibilities of playing percussion, and you'll get to hear some terrific players. Maybe you'd like to play percussion in the band.